To download a free printable PDF version of this pattern, click the links on the screen now, in the description below, or visit louisloops.com. Hey guys, I'm Louis from Louis Loops, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to make a pumpkin. But really quick, before we get started, you can get my full pattern bundle for all the Halloween monsters like a zombie and a werewolf, Frankenstein, vampire, and a witch. And then other ones like a skull and a bat, last week's free pattern, in my Etsy shop by clicking the link on the screen now or in the description below. But let me move this out of the way and let's get started. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be making a pumpkin. This is the jack-o'-lantern version. Here's what we're really going to be making today, which is just a straight up pumpkin. And here's like a bigger version. I teach you how to make it in different sizes, and yeah, to make it into a jack-o'-lantern you have to download the PDF because the instructions are a little bit different for the color changes. It's basically just color change differences, but you can download that by clicking the link on the screen or in the description for how to make it into a jack-o'-lantern. But really quick, let's just make a regular pumpkin. So let's get started. First, we're going to be making just the body. Okay, so to start off, we're using a size G crochet hook, and then we're using some yarn. This is Patton's Merino Extra Fine Aran. Now, I don't have it together with my orange, but we're going to be using it in the orange. I like they have a really nice color orange here, so we're going to be using that. And then we're also going to need a pencil for stuffing, and then obviously we need some stuffing, and what else? Scissors, a needle. But yeah, let's just get started with the beginning. Okay, so for this pattern you can make it in a bunch of different sizes. Like there's a big one, there's a little one, and how we're going to do that is, first off, we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot. And do chain 2. And I suggest doing all of this like kind of loose, not too tight. I guess you can do it really tight and make it a little bitty pumpkin, but it's easier to make it really loose. So for round 1, we're going to be single crocheting 6 into the second chain from the hook. You can also use a magic hoop method here if you want. I don't really like that method that much, so I'm going to be doing the single crochet in the second loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Easy enough. So for round 2, we're going to be increasing in each stitch around. So how we do that, first we need to get into our first stitch right here. And this pattern's worked in the round, so that means you don't have to turn around at all. And we'll go ahead and increase in each stitch around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in 5, 6 here I'm going to be taking our tail and working around our yarn here to kind of lock it in and pull it tighter, keep it tight in the center there. We'll go ahead and keep increasing with 7 and 8, and then 9, 10, and finally 11 and 12. So that's round 2. Now for round 3, we're going to be single crocheting 1 in the first, and then increasing in the next, so doing 2 in the next stitch here. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Next one is 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8, and 9. I mean, you get it. It's pretty easy. We're going all the way up to 18 right now. And for this pattern, you can actually just keep doing these increases. So we're doing increasing by 3 right now, and we're at the end of our round here. But we can just keep increasing. So we're going to do For this pattern in specific, we're going to do one more increase. So that means, well, I'll just show you. Round 4, we're going to be single crocheting 1 in the first 2, 1 and 2, and then increasing in the next. And we're going to repeat that 6 times. And so as you can see, we just basically did the exact same thing. Again, we're just increasing a little bit more and a little bit more every time we go around. Now, for the pattern, you can really just keep doing this. You can make this crazy big if you want. Like, you can make a full-size pumpkin by just increasing in each stitch, maybe using a little bit bigger yarn and a hook. But if you just kept increasing each time you go around, you can just make it giant. And I'll show you. You can also do that with the height of the pumpkin. So we can make this like a really long pumpkin, a really short pumpkin. Oops, I missed one right there. But yeah, it's kind of a cool pattern. But for this example, we're just going to be stopping here and increasing just 4 times around. Okay. So now for rounds, for the next round, we're going to be just single crocheting into each stitch all the way around. Now for this part, you can, here's another great example. You can just keep doing this. So normally, I think we have 6 increases in our normal pumpkin, or here, let me grab the other one. So, I mean, 6 rounds of just single crochet for this regular size pumpkin, but, I mean, you can do as many as you want. So we could do like 15 of just rounds and make it a really long pumpkin. Or like this example is, I think I've done like 8 or 9 just single crochets down, and it's way bigger. It's more sturdy of a pumpkin. So you can just keep doing that. I'm going to cut here. We're going to do 6 rounds of just single crocheting 1 in each stitch around. And I would suggest using a marker here, or maybe keeping count to know where you're at. But yeah, we're going to do 6 rounds of just single crochet in each stitch around. Hey guys, okay, so we've just finished 6 rounds of just single crochet around, and now we're going to be adding the little what is this, stem and a vine. If you want to add a vine, you don't have to, obviously, but okay, so first, for adding a stem, we're gonna need some pipe cleaner. So you don't have to have a green one. I just like having a green one just in case any of the pipe cleaner pokes out of the green yarn. And we're going to choose how long we want it. So let's say we want it like this long. We want to add a little bit more on top of it and bend it down like that. And then we can cut it. You might need a little bit heavier scissors to cut pipe cleaner. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stick the first bit of the pipe cleaner into just right into the center. Then we're going to find another hole. Well, it looks like this one's pretty good. You can just use pretty much any hole from a different single crochet there and stick the other end of the pipe cleaner in that. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to twist both the outside, so you can see you just want to like twist it all the way to the end, but leave enough so that a needle can get through. So let me just show you what I mean. We're gonna have to put yarn around this, so if you can leave enough so that at the end at least, in fact it might be easier if you just started by leaving your needle in and then spinning it, so that way you can make sure you have enough room there. And then on the inside we want to do the same thing, so you can see the inside here, we want to also be spinning it so that it kind of locks it in there, and then just kind of push the ends out like so. Okay, so now we want to put green yarn, I'll show you this color, green yarn like around the pipe cleaner, to make it kind of like have a nice little look there. So we want to grab a little bit of green yarn or thread or whatever, and cut a little bit of it. You don't need like a whole bunch, but just cut a little bit. And we'll need our needle. And thread the end of our needle here. And what we want to do is we want to go in through the bottom, or through the center, where we have our first bit here, and pull it almost all the way through, leave enough to tie it together right here. And this part's really easy. All we're doing is we're wrapping our yarn around our pipe cleaner until we get close to the top of it. And when we get close to the top, like right around here, we want to go into that little hole that we left in our pipe cleaner. And we want to keep going around and into that hole. And this will kind of lock in our yarn at the end of the pipe cleaner, and give us a chance to turn it back around so it won't come undone, you know. And you just keep going around till all the pipe cleaner's filled up. Okay. So I mean, that's decently well for the end. And now we want to just work our way back down the stem and get to our bottom. Now this yarn is just, I think it's Lily Sugar and Cream yarn in like Forest. You want to take our end and put it where, remember when we put the pipe cleaner in, we put it one through the center and one through a different hole. We want the end, the needle to go through the different hole. So that way we're not tying it just empty. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and double knot it on the inside here. All right. And there we go. We'll go ahead and cut it with our scissors. Careful not to cut the main piece. There we go. And that's our, there's our stem. Now you can like turn it a little bit, you know. Now we want to, I'll show you guys how to add the little, what is this, a vine. First you have to make it, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so to make our vine, we need our green yarn again, and again I'm using Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. You can use really any color or any yarn you want here, because it doesn't need to be the same, as long as it's the same as whatever you have on our to make our stem. Now we want to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and the second chain from the hook here, we want to do what is called a mini picot. So we put our needle into this back loop here, and we'll go ahead and slip stitch 1. And we're going to repeat that process again. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, go into the back loop here, and slip stitch 1. You don't have to do it this way. You can really just sew on some green yarn to make it look like a vine if you want. But yeah, you want to repeat it 3 times total. So there we go, 1, 2, and this last one here. Oops. And then finally we finish up by doing one more single, or 2 more chains rather. And then we cut it, leaving long enough to sew onto our piece. And we just pull it all the way through. Now we're just going to sew this onto our piece. So first grab our needle and thread the short end. And this will go straight through the top where our vine went. So we just put that right into the top, like so. Okay. And then the other one, we want to thread our needle. And this can go wherever you want, but I would avoid putting it on our increases. So it's kind of can be hard to see, but you have little increases here, and it's just where it's lined up with the piece. So you can see, like, here's one regular single crochet, there's not two together. In this one you see a single crochet and another one right next to it. That's where the increase is. You don't have to do this, but I like to avoid putting it on those, because at the end, how we get it squished together is we use those. So you go into our end, like you choose a spot, and then you come out a spot above it, and then go into our piece. I go into where we made our little mini peacock, and I just pull it through like that, and then I go right back into that, into our where we came out, and then go up through a different part, and kind of make it like more of like a zigzaggy kind of thing. You don't want it really spiked, but yeah, you get it. We go back into our piece again, and then finally we need one more. And then we'll just go in. Tight on the inside. Double knot it, and we'll cut it loose. And just put it in there. And there we go. Then we made our vine. Now we'll go ahead and finish our piece. We need to close it all the way up. So here's how we do that. Basically exactly how we did our increases, we want to do the exact opposite thing, but with invisible decreases. So for this example, we have four rounds of increases, right? So we need 4 rounds of decreases. So we'll go ahead and single crochet 2, 1, 2, and we'll do an invisible decrease in the next stitch. So how we do that is we go into just the front loop. So if you look at the top of a single crochet, you can see there's 2 kinds of loops. There's a front one, which is this one, and then there's a back one, which is this one. We only want to go into the front loops. So we go into the front loop of the next one, and then we go into the front loop of the one after that. And this is called an invisible decrease. You just single crochet after you're into both of those. And it makes a really nice clean decrease where you can't even see it. So we want to repeat that process 6 times total to go around and have 18 stitches instead of 24 right now. And if you had 5 stitches, if you went bigger, you'd have to do that 3 times and then a decrease. So you see what I mean. You have to decrease more if you have a bigger piece. So we'll single crochet in the next 2, and then invisible decrease into the next. And we'll repeat that all the way till we get around to the beginning again. Okay, so I did that, and I single crocheted in the next 2 and then decreased 1 all the way around till we got back to our beginning. Now for the next round, we want to just single crochet 1 in the first, and then invisible decrease in the next. And again, we want to repeat this process all the way until we get all the way around. We'll have 12 stitches total. And you can actually, before we finish this, you can actually stuff it early here. It might make things a little easier when you come to the end, but you don't have to, obviously. You can stuff it after this stitch instead. But for now, I'm just going to be single crocheting 1 in the first, and then invisible decreasing in the next until I get all the way around. Okay, so for this last round, I stuffed it a little bit already. I'm using just simple stuffing. You can get this at Joann's or something, or you can just use extra threads of yarn that you have left over as stuffing as well. But for this last round, we want to do a decrease in each. Now, that's not an invisible decrease. It's completely different stitch. So I'll show you guys how to do that. You want to pull a loop through both loops this time of the next stitch, and then go into the next stitch over and pull another loop through, and pull this loop through both. And we want to repeat that process all the way around till we only have 6 stitches around. So let's do it again. Go ahead and pull 1 loop through, another loop, and then pull that loop through both. And we just want to repeat that 6 times. And it can be kind of hard to do when you first start out because you've got your finger in. You have to use your finger and put it in. But after a while, you have to just start pinching it. That's the technique that I do for doing these invisible or not visible, regular decreases. You just want to get that all the way around. We only have a couple more. 1, 2. All right. One more. All right. So now we're going to want to stuff it and sew it shut. So cut it just decently long, not too long, and just pull that loop all the way through. Don't do a chain or anything, just pull it through. We'll grab our stuffing, and we are going to use our pencil, put our stuffing over the hole, and we're kind of going to do like a scoop thing with our eraser and kind of scoop that stuffing into the bottom of our pumpkin here. Let's keep going ahead and adding more and more stuffing. You want this kind of firm. You don't want it too firm, like a hard like baseball or something, but you want it decently firm with stuffing because the next part we're going to be making it like irregular shapes kind of. Now for the next part, I have to admit I learned this technique from a different crochet YouTuber named Happy Berry, I think is what her name is. And I really liked the idea that she did. So I decided, oh wow, I'll give that a shot. And but I didn't really like how she made the stem and stuff, so I wanted to change up a little bit of parts. But and I wanted to share it with you guys. So I have to give credit right now to Happy Berry, YouTuber. Go check her out. She's really good at doing YouTube videos. All right, that should be enough. Now we're going to go ahead and just sew it shut. So grab our needle and thread the bottom of our yarn here. And here's how we sew it shut. We count 3 stitches over. So not this one. This is the one that we just finished using. We want to count over 1, 2, 3. Go into the back, and then go into the one that we just finished using. And kind of leave it, don't pull it too tight yet, but go into the stitch right to the right of that, and then into the back of the next stitch over. And we're going to continue this process of kind of like, you know, doing kind of like a star. And before you finish pulling this one tight, you can pull it so the last stitch is tight. And you want to go into the next one over, into, and we're just kind of going across, pull it kind of tight. The thread came undone. Got to rethread our needle. And then you can finish off by pulling it tight and going just into our piece. Going out somewhere. Oopsies. And then going back in and right straight through the bottom. There we go. And our yarn came unthreaded again. There. And that'll kind of just hide it a little bit. Alright, now we can cut it loose. And to finish up, we're going to make it, so now it's just a ball, which, I mean, that's kind of cool. You can just do that if you want. But instead, we're going to be using a little bit of thread and making it kind of like awkwardly shaped like this. So this started out looking like that. But I'll show you guys how to do that right now. Okay, so we want to take our orange thread here and cut like kind of a long piece. Okay, so we got kind of a long piece of this orange, and we want to thread the bottom of it, if we can. This yarn is kind of like, it comes apart very easy. I mean, it's strong, but it comes apart. Okay, so we want to go through the bottom of our piece right here. Just stick the needle on the bottom and go straight through the very, very top. right where our what's it called, stem is, and pull our stitch all the way through, and leave a kind of long end. And we want to find our increases again. You don't have to do it this way, but I find it's easiest to find out where our increases are, which is right here. You can kind of see like, oh, there's one, stuff like that. And you want to go straight down from where our increases are and back into the bottom. And you want to do this 6 times total. So go straight through the top. Okay. And pull it kind of tight. You can see what's kind of happening here. And go, I like to go across to the other side, so that way we can kind of like make it even a little bit more. So go through the other side and go into the bottom. You want to do this 6 times, so that's 2. And you can kind of make it like irregularly shaped by like letting the stuffing like fill up different parts. We want to pull it tight while we're doing it. We'll go ahead and we'll go through this side. So we've got 1, 2. So we have 3. And you don't have to do it this way where I'm kind of doing it opposite sides. You can just go all the way around like do if you want. I just kind of like doing it opposite sides. There we go. You can see it's kind of getting awkwardly shaped, which is cool. I like it like that. It looks kind of neat. Looks like a real pumpkin that way. Go through this one right here. And if we were doing it, if you're using the pattern downloaded and made like color changes for a jack-o'-lantern, you would try to avoid going into the stitches for that jack-o'-lantern, if that makes any sense. You want to kind of go around the jack-o'-lantern. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5. We have 1 more after this. Looks like we'll go right through here. And avoid going into or over our vine here. So let me show you. Kind of gets tough at the end to go through. There we go. So what I'm saying is avoid going like over the vine like this. Try to go like around the vine, kind of like that. Okay, and pull it all tight, and then go through the last bit right here. And then what I do is I find a spot. So like I'll go out like this. I'll go out like into just a random spot on my pumpkin and pull it kind of tight. And then I go straight through that spot again, and then right through the bottom. Okay. And pull all our pieces really tight. You can see how it's like kind of awkwardly shaped. And then all we do is we double knot it on the bottom, because you're not going to see the bottom anyhow. And we just cut it, and that will finish up the pumpkin pattern. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm pretty happy with how this pumpkin turned out. If you guys want more videos, please subscribe. I'll add a link right at the bottom of this video. And make sure to check out all of my Halloween patterns. So let's grab them right now. Got a witch and Frankenstein. I really like the Frankenstein. I'm pretty happy with him. A vampire. And I have video patterns for all of these as well. So if you were to get any of these patterns, they come with a video. And you can get the full bundle of all these patterns there too. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check back in a couple weeks for another new video. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.